Welcome to the Bald and the Beardiful. I'm Chris.
I'm Bryce,
I am bald.
and I'm feeling so beautiful.
Another week,
Another week.
and
Week
we're coming
closer.
up on next Thursday, right? So
Yeah,
this is
yes.
or this coming Thursday, I guess is the way to look at it. Whatever, however you want to say it is game one. Is literally game one. We have a season of
And,
sorts.
and that's Kansas City versus who? Texans?
Yeah, I think that's Thursday. Yeah, so we have Texans Chiefs Thursday night. That's actually a pretty decent opener, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, Kansas City is always a good game.
Well, I mean, I think that one's the debut of CEH, right? Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So and I think that's a good test for. I mean, it's a good test for us as viewers. It's a really poor test for him. Like, he coming in as his rookie season, and he starts off against the Texans. Who, I mean, I'm not saying that they don't have like the greatest defense of all time, but they have a solid run defense for sure.
Yeah,
Um, so
I
that
mean,
it's gonna,
is JJ Watt still defending?
as far as I know,
I don't know.
think he retired.
I know he was hosting Ultimate Tag. I was just assuming he made a career change.
Well, all the Watt brothers are.
I know. He's been hurt the most.
That's true.
He's always out for some reason.
Well, I mean, that could also go with you talk about effort, right? Like he's giving it his all wherever his other brothers are sandbagging it.
Yeah, could be true. Or just could be they play smarter.
Well, they also play different positions because Derek Watt is a fullback, so he doesn't take as many snaps as the other two.
I love their Subway commercial. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, I have.
The TJ versus TJ versus JJ. This is why we named your brother Derek. It's just so sarcastic. I love it.
So, and like, what was it? I actually think TJ is an actual is a linebacker, whereas JJ is a defensive end, if I'm thinking of it correctly, right? Like, well, this is just impromptu. Yeah, he's a linebacker, whereas JJ is a defensive end. So a little, yeah. Hey, I'm right. Granted, we do no research whatsoever prior to any of this. So
yeah, we really should start doing that. I'm going to say that every time we come into an episode. We really should start doing more research before this. But I mean, like we improv most of our dialogue. I mean, when we do 2 or 3 takes, it's never the same dialogue.
But
sometimes we try to fake it, but it just doesn't always end up the same.
Fake it like every one of your dates.
Exactly. It doesn't matter. I finish.
Anyway, like I said, so I feel like I should get at least some kudos for actually knowing football trivia and information really outside of the Cowboys. So
you should get some kudos, but you're not getting it from me.
Okay, well, maybe one of our 5 fans will.
We have 21 subscribers.
We do have 21 subscribers.
We have 21 subscribers.
I said fans, not subscribers. There's a difference. We have like 5 fans, and I think they're all related to us.
if only the fans listen like the subscribers do.
Yeah.
It's all good. But this episode, we have a couple things we want to cover. We're gonna do some in the news that we've done in the past. We're gonna talk about some week 1 predictions and do some player reviews, and then we're gonna end it with our cover 5 team name discussion, which I have a few picked out that I'm gonna run past you, see what you like. I'd ask all of our tens of viewers, but you don't get to hear from that much. We could easily email us at theballandbeardiful@gmail.com. You can always just email us, talk to us. We want to hear from you guys.
At the very least, you're already on the YouTube, video. A comment, perhaps. Yeah. The only person that commented so far on any of our videos,
it's right
I think, is
below
Pete.
The subscribe button, and then also below the like button that you guys could be pressing. But let's get to go quickly through the in the news portion, because I find it hilarious. Everyone knows 2020 is the big pandemic. Every month there's something new from COVID to murder hornets to double hurricane. What else? There's been a few. What am I missing?
Biden sniffing people.
Oh my God. There's so many memes about that. But my in the news, if is that I've been saying this to a bunch of people. Everyone's like, when's COVID gonna end? When's all this gonna be over? And I always say, jokingly, kind of, as soon as the elections are over. As soon as the elections are over, it's gonna end. And Chris, do you know when the elections are?
November 3rd.
They are indeed.
Jesus, you are. If you don't know that, you are exactly the epitome of where the public education system fails.
I have to ask. I have to say it out loud because I find hopefully this can be viewed on the article. COVID vaccines said to be put out November 1st, right? 2 days before the election, the vaccines are going out. We can all stop panicking and worrying. And right when you need to start thinking about the things that matter, like the election, that's when they'll lower the panic. So right after it's done.
Pretty much. There's zero chance I'm getting that vaccine, though. I think there's zero chance. Have you read anything about like the front runners for the vaccines that are able to produce? Because like your normal processes for vaccines, I actually did research because I was curious, right? Mm-hmm. So your normal processes to create vaccines take, I think, a minimum of 18 months, right? From the time in which you actually like show like proof that it works to the time in which you have like mass production and are able to roll it out. A traditional vaccine is somewhere around 18 months at a bare minimum, right? Like
I feel like between March and November is going to be just a little shy of 18 months.
Ish, right? But that's under the best of circumstances, and that's when you actually kind of know what's going on, right? Considering this is a novel virus, meaning that it's unique, not that it's like insignificant. It means that novel means that it's unique. Although they were using,
know what you mean. Yes.
Well, but in case there's anybody out there listening that doesn't, and we did know some stuff because Corona is the same like genus or phylum or whatever as SARS and MRSA and some other existing viruses that we know and already doing studies around, right?
But not the Spanish flu. That's just a shout out to my friend Eric. He put on a trivia question that involved that answer. Sorry, go ahead.
All right. So either way, best of circumstances, we're looking at like normal process, right? So the ones that they are pushing are new types of vaccines, right? With a new process, either a new process, right, in order to create it, or a new type of vaccine altogether. I know one for sure. I don't know about all of them, but I do know the one that Bill Gates was pushing from Moderna. Moderna is the company that Bill Gates was pushing for because he has a vested interest in it. I mean, that's not. He's pushing for it, and he admits it's not like he's hiding the fact that he's invested in this company, right? But it uses an RNA technique, right, in order to create antibodies that fight the virus. It is at its simplest form, right? This is a very simplistic way to look at it, but it is pretty accurate, right? By using an RNA designed vaccine, quote unquote, it's essentially gene therapy. It changes your body's cells in order to fight the vaccine, or not fight the vaccine, fight the virus by inserting RNA into your body, into your cells, to produce the appropriate antibodies to fight off the virus. We don't know what the long-term effects of that will be.
Hopefully it's mutants. We can all get superpowers.
Yeah, like we might end up with superpowers. We could end up with quite a few supervillains because there are some pretty trash people in this world, right? But
I think we call them politicians.
Touche. Well played. You get a point for that one. You get a gold star. I'll give you a gold star for the day. That was one. That was a good one. Zinger
for a gold star.
Bazinga! We're shooting low. We said it's been a while since we've been recording.
Go after.
Yeah. So we'll set the bar low. But like I said, but also you have to think about it too. Like, what does that mean for those of us who are looking to have children, right? What is going to happen, right? What kind of things will that pass along to your potential offspring? And we just don't know. I think it's a huge risk in the unknown, and I don't think it's a good idea. I think it's going to have some really bad side effects, and I think it's going to hurt some people. Or potentially, I should say. Potentially. I don't know that 100%. I'm not a doctor. I just say this is just based on what I was reading. I'm like, this is just too unproven, and the science behind it just isn't well researched enough, and we haven't had enough time behind it to really say that this is going to be good and good for us, if you will, right?
Have you been tested for COVID at all?
I have not.
Yeah. So just like most of your other diseases, you don't have what you don't test for.
What was it? That was something that was it the Amish? It was a quote from the Amish. You know why the Amish don't have COVID, right?
Because they don't test for it.
No, because they don't
No.
have TV.
Oh, that's
So
fantastic.
no. I just as far as like myself, like I limit like I'm not saying that I don't go out or I don't do things, but I try to limit my exposure. Like I maintain like good social distancing. I honestly, the mask thing I could care less about because they said I think it's more for perceived safety than actual safety. But you know what? I'll throw the mask on in public if that's what everybody wants at this particular juncture. But they said I
No,
maintain
I make
social
it fun with the
distancing. Try
mask.
not to what?
I make it fun with the mask. I have like 10 different pairs. Most of them are skulls. I have a Vader. I have a Chewbacca. I
Yeah.
got a Venom one. Like I make it fun for myself. But I didn't want to spend too much time on that because obviously we're not experts. My main point was I found it so funny that over time people keep saying that I wonder how long this pandemic is going to last. I say as soon as the elections are over, because that's what happened with a lot of other things in the past, every 4 years. And as soon as I finally get to see the news article of when the vaccine is coming out, and the timing is just fantastic.
I mean,
So,
we saw that coming though. I mean,
Yeah.
again, that wasn't a hard prediction really though. Like that was going to because that's one of the current battlegrounds, right?
Oh, yeah.
Of the political landscape, which regardless of which way you fall on which side of the political spectrum, that's currently where their battle, the topics they're battling over is the pandemic, the closures, the economy, its impact, all that other stuff, right? But that's to be expected that once once we get past the elections, regardless of outcome, regardless of the release of the vaccine, we should see some changes in the way of life as we know it, right? So I'm looking forward to getting through it. I'd like to get to the election part and get past it so that we can move on, so regardless of where anyone falls on the political spectrum, regardless of which way which way the chips fall, if you will, on this one. Like I think there's a lot of things that are happening because it is an election year and it's impacting the general people negatively, and I just want to get past it. I think it's as a whole our two-party system has shown just really come to light that how much it fails us and how much we've outgrown it and need to evolve. I think this is a great wake-up call for us that we need to evolve when it comes to politics.
We do, but I mean, until everyone gets behind it, it's a moot point at the time. But let's move past this. Do you have anything in the news that you wanna bring up?
No, I mean not as far as general news, not really.
No. Well, all right, then let's move on to some. Let's just go to player activity because that's also in the news. So let's do some player activity.
Oh, well, actually, I take that back. I'm gonna at this point, I'm gonna shill a little bit for Apple. Apple had a recent stock split, and and even through this year and with a lot of different sectors taking a hit, Apple has continued to be prevalent and is now, I think it's surpassed all companies, right? I think it's actually the most value as company has the most value right now. And after the split, I happened to be looking and I caught a dip. So this is completely self-motivated that I'm going to show for Apple because I now have a stake and a position in Apple. So those of you who are down for the iPhone, the latest and greatest. I don't particularly have an iPhone, but I appreciate all of you that buy the new iPhone every year, even more now. I just want to say that, I look forward to the future years of them moving the head jack from the top to the bottom to the top again, and then removing it all together and making it Bluetooth only. And then eventually they're going to bring it back and say that they have and then they have the adapter too. They have the adapter so you can have a traditional
Who remembers the adapter? I have an adapter for my Google phone because it's just the C USB drive and you don't have a head jack in it. And I forget that thing all the time. It's not like I carry this one little extra piece of me everywhere I go in case I need to plug in a pair of headphones. But then again, most of my stuff is Bluetooth.
Yep. Yeah. So like I said, thank you all. Those of you who are Apple users, Apple Life, whatever. You're potentially going to help my future kid go through college.
I hope that's going well. By the way, let's go to the player activity. What's your talking point?
All right, so we got a couple of recent releases, right? So Leonard Fournette's probably the biggest. We had Leonard Fournette released from the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I heard a lot of talk off the morning radio station in Arizona that they were hoping he would come to Arizona, and which would have made them a really good team, I think, with a good running game with just getting Hopkins, and but it obviously didn't go that way.
Nah, because I don't think he's too expensive, and I don't think he's gonna produce what they need, because they have a change of pace back, right? In Chase Edmonds, you have Kenyon Drake, and Kenyon Drake. So and a lot of other people believe this too. So Kenyon Drake is kind of similar to Leonard Fournette, but is a better pass catcher than Leonard Fournette. So you already have that style of back in your backfield. So the best case scenario for Fournette in Arizona and in a lot of different places too was he was going to come in and he was going to be in a multi-headed monster of some sort, right, out of the backfield, and he was going to be brought in as a third down and change of pace back. But it's like in Arizona, you already have that style of runner, so he wasn't changing anything up. Whereas you have Chase Edmonds, who's that like outside burner threat, not necessarily smash up the middle back, still a decent pass catcher, and Chase Edmonds has actually shown that when needed to, when called upon, he can kind of carry the workload. Like they still have to kind of distribute the play calling a little bit more, and mix it up. But he ultimately can carry the majority of a workload. I'm not gonna say a full workload, but majority enough to where they didn't necessarily need to bring in a full time like third back. But either way, he's so his release. Adrian Peterson was released from the Washington team.
Yep.
And you had Josh Rosen released from the Dolphins of all places. I don't get that one, but they said
I think they're maybe hoping to get somebody better, but you can only hope.
And then
fingers crossed, right?
I don't know who they're going to get or what their plan is. I guess their plan is to move forward with Fitzmagic as their quarterback for this season, and pick somebody up in the offseason next season, or draft somebody maybe. I don't know.
Speaking of Fitz, just in terms of quarterback, I honestly feel bad for Foles. Foles has done a lot for the Eagles, and now he's on the Bears, and he's still a backup. Like I know he's not the best quarterback, but I still think he deserves a starting position somewhere.
Well, he was in Jacksonville and then got hurt, and then Gardner Minshew, the mustache, the stash. He just broke out essentially on that, and Minshew adds a little bit more to the back.
Last year was the year of the backup quarterbacks.
Well, yeah, and Foles isn't a mobile quarterback. Not that Minshew's really he's a mobile quarterback. He's more mobile than Foles. We'll just put it that way. He's not a mobile quarterback in the sense of like a Lamar Jackson or a Patrick Mahomes or even a Cam Newton, right? Or even a Josh Allen, right? Josh Allen's a little bit more mobile than Minshew, but Minshew is a more accurate passer down the field than Josh Allen. So it's kind of one of those, like, either way, like, based on the talent they had in Jacksonville and kind of what they were doing, Minshew just fits the bill. He ticks more of the boxes, right? And I agree with you. I think Foles is good enough, even though he went to U of A. Boo.
No, sorry. Like your audio went out for me, and I tried to do something to get it back. It's back now, but
I don't know. Hopefully that's it.
I'll have a static.
I'm not going over it again. So
it's all good. I said what I wanted to say.
But I agree. Like that's the other thing too. Like you said, so apparently Trubisky has been named the Bears starting quarterback. Yeah. So, but I don't see that. I don't see that sticking. Right. I think Foles will be the starter in Chicago by the end of the season. That's my prediction. That's a prediction.
The one other thing that I saw besides you telling me about Kamara earlier was Aguilar. Aguilar was the Eagles wide receiver, wasn't he?
Aguilar? Nelson Aguilar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because now he's a Raider.
Interesting.
And so I think he was. I mean, Aguilar could do some damage when he was given the ball. So now that he's a Raider and possibly gets some more touches, I think it could be a good year for him.
That actually gives a lot of depth in the receiving core of the Raiders. That's an interesting release though for them, because with Jalen Reagor being injured, he injured his shoulder in practice. I don't know why I moved my shoulder when I said injured his shoulder. I don't know what shoulder it is.
You're trying to make sure you're trying to be illustrative. Just like, oh, it's his shoulder.
Shoulder,
No,
shoulder,
not,
shoulder,
not,
not his
shoulder.
Yeah,
not his shoulder. Yeah, his shoulder. Yeah.
But either way, so we have those releases. Fournette's the only one that got signed with Tampa Bay, which I think is an interesting spot for him to land, actually.
Okay, yeah. I said, I don't know. It's gonna make for a good season. I'm looking forward to seeing some games. Hopefully, can find something around here that's showing it, because I don't know. I don't know.
Well, either way. So yes, he lands in Tampa Bay. He actually probably could have gone to the Bears. There was Adam Schefter like trolled the internet by saying that he went to the Bears because of David Montgomery's injury, and then he went and signed with Tampa Bay instead. But I just think it. As I said, I don't think Fournette's necessarily going to like break out in Tampa Bay. I think he's going to be a solid addition, but it's ultimately nothing special. It just kind of rounds out their overall offense now that they have three, essentially, like they have a three-headed backfield at this point now with him, because you have who's over there? Ronald Jones. Ronald Jones is the starter, and then you have Keyshawn Vaughn, their rookie, and now you have Fournette, who's a veteran, right, to kind of round out the backfield.
Mm-hmm.
In addition to their receiving core, right? Because you have Mike Evans, you have Chris Godwin, that are all there, right? So, and then who's there? They have a decent tight end too, don't they? Oh well, they have Gronk.
Howard.
Gronky punch there.
But they also have Howard, don't they?
OJ Howard, yeah. They have OJ Howard, and then they have Gronky punch, as well. I was like, I can't believe I drew a blank on that one.
Good. But it's a fairly new thing.
Yeah, I mean it's something that that's fairly new, but I think that rounds out their offense altogether with that. So I mean it makes sense, but like at the same time, like I said, I don't think it's necessarily like now he's gonna really like just tear it up.
So,
but and then Kamara, right? We don't forget about Kamara. This is, like you said, it wasn't necessarily big news, but it was news nonetheless. He apparently got an epidural shot in his back, which I think like that's not necessarily like groundbreaking or anything like that. But I do think it sets a precedent for the season, and I think it has implications for picks, right? Because that
isn't Cook his backup.
No, Latavius Murray is his backup. Murray is his backup.
Cook is Vikings, I believe.
Dalvin Cook, yeah. Dalvin Cook is the running back for the Vikings. Jared Cook is the tight end for the Saints. If we're talking about the same teams here.
No, yeah, I was thinking of Melvin.
Dalvin D.
Dalvin, sorry.
Dalvin Cook. But I think that's
okay. When I pick my team for fantasy, the names are all there in order of the best orders.
But from a cover 5 perspective, though, like if we're gonna have Kamara with maybe limited touches or potentially missing games, that's gonna change up spreads, and it's gonna have implications of like how we're gonna have to choose that their schedule and them as a team, because they're definitely a team that we should be looking at, I think, in general, like as a team that's a play week, almost week in and week out. I wouldn't necessarily say week in and week out, but they're definitely going to be a team that you can look to score you some points.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just something to be mindful of, and
we should
we can and then we look, and then if it does actually have some impact, we look really smart if we say it now.
So we'll get a good indication of what's going to happen week 1, because they're playing Tampa Bay. They're going to have a good battle week 1.
Well, I say Kamara week 1, like you said, I don't expect it to really have impact week 1 per se. I think it's like you said, it's going to be like after like 4 or 5 weeks, he's going to have to get into it and really see if his back continues to be aggravated, because he can't continue like during the season to get epidural shots, because essentially that numbs up your back, right? And as you're getting hit, you need to know where it hurts, right? You can't have 300-pound, 250-pound linebackers, 300-pound linemen smashing you, and then you have something that's numbing your pain, right? And you're going to make things worse. And we don't want him to get significantly hurt, right? We don't want him to be hurt at all, really.
You never want that for any players. At least actual fans don't want real players to be hurt, because in the end, there's a lot. You may have a lot riding on this game, but I mean, if you watch a game looking to see someone get hurt in a serious way, you're
not at all.
Yeah.
No.
Not the kind of people I want to hang around with, at least.
Yeah, you just said, and as it is too, like also like you said, once again, this is self-serving. I like we are going to not this season is not going to be a regular season, if you will, right? It's going to be a semblance of football, and it's the closest thing we're going to get to real sports for 2020, right? Like NBA is trash, MLB is trash, and hockey. I like hockey. Hockey's fun. It's exciting. It's there's a lot of excitement and energy, and it's a fast-paced game. I'm just personally, I'm really not into it. And with the way like it's weird to watch the games, like the way that they have like different like agreements with the different like networks, and some of them have their own network, so you can't actually watch their games unless you have their network if they're at home sometimes in certain markets. It's a whole weird thing. Like I just don't it's deterred me from really getting into it. I started to get into it because I'm a degenerate and I like to bet on it because I like betting on things, right? And it gave me something that I could do in the off season.
I bet on my first horse race ever this past weekend, and I bet a whole $2 on my first race, and picked the horse to win, and it won.
Nice. So we'll get into our fantasy names here shortly, but like talk about this. Did Dad ever tell you the story about Uncle Pat and his Kentucky Derby like crazy win that he had by accident?
I don't think so. I knew our grandfather was a big horse guy, and apparently he did really well. He like knew all the insider stuff. And as soon as I won that ticket, I told Dad, and hey, he texted back immediately. Goes, your grandfather will be proud.
Yeah, he's also Grandpa, like Dad's dad, was also a big poker player. So we both have inherited some sort of degeneracy from Grandpa. But either way,
I haven't fully embraced it. If I'm betting $2 going to keep myself interested for a half hour.
No, but when he was alive, he had a buddy that went to the Kentucky Derby, was actually at the Derby, right? And he happened to pick, I forgot what horse it was, but like there was a horse, and he happened to read something or some tip or whatever, and he told the guy to like throw $20 on the horse for him. And since you've bet on horses, there's win, place, or show, right?
Right.
Well, so instead of like just throwing $20 on the horse, the guy, his friend anyway, instead of taking $20 and putting on like the horse to win, he ended up putting $20 on each. So $20 to win, $20 to place, $20 to show. And the horse ended up winning the race. So he ended up winning like some, whatever amount of money, like off of like $60. $60 won like 600 or something like that. I don't remember the exact dollar amount, but it was like something that should have been like, he won like $50, $60, maybe $100 ended up being like an actual, like a legit pay, like somewhat legit payday.
The dinner and drinks were on him then.
Yeah, kind of like, it was one of those like, dinner and drinks were on him. And it was just like a really funny story, like a funny coincidence, a minor miscommunication that happened to go his way.
If only they were all like that.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, so we said names, right? So this is
you're skipping over the week 1 predictions.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're forgetting that. We're running out of time here, and we still got 2 more categories to go through.
That's fine, but as I said, that's why you're the secretary. You're good at those things. I'm the
keeping you on track. No one's good at that.
Yeah, I'm just here to be pretty. You're here to like be the secretary and keep things on track.
You need to work on your makeup. Someone get him a wig. That kind of defeats the purpose of the show.
Wig, whatever, man.
One of us is going to walk in here completely shaved and like, well, this episode's canceled.
All right. What do we want to pick? You want to pick three winners because we don't have spreads. We don't have current spreads, right?
No,
For picks, but
let's just do see if we're the same or see if we're different on just winner of that game. So let's make it go back quick. Texans Chiefs. I'm feeling Chiefs.
yeah, I'm gonna go Chiefs on that one too.
Bills
It'll
and
be
Jets.
close. Well, I think it'll be no. I think I said I think it's going to be close. So like I said, that might be one that we as far as from a spread perspective, depending upon what the spread is on that one, like the Texans might not be a bad pick for some quick and dirty points, but I think the Chiefs walk away with that win, especially at home.
I'm thinking somewhere in the 2020s for that game.
Something like that. All right.
Yeah, something like that. Jets and Bills.
Bills all the way.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I mean, Jets got Bell, but that's pretty much all they got.
Levy on a prayer, if you will.
Yeah. Packers and Vikings.
Ooh, Vikings. Packers don't have any weapons really. I mean, they have Devontae Adams and they have 3 decent running backs, but they don't have any running backs that are really like game changers necessarily. And I don't think Aaron Rodgers is still a good quarterback. I just don't think he's that killer quarterback that he used to be.
I think they're playing in Minnesota, so they might have the home field advantage there too. But either way, that's by no means still a blowout. It's still going to be a tough game for them.
I think not necessarily a blowout, but I do think it's going to be more of a one-sided game. I don't think it's going to necessarily be a blowout, but
by more than one score,
like 10. I think 10.
Yeah. Well, that'd be like 1.5. So yeah.
Yeah. So like 10.
Eagles in Washington.
Eagles.
I mean, Eagles. Yeah, it's
Eagles,
not. Let's flip a coin. No, let's not do that. Yeah.
No, Washington is in competition for the worst team in football.
With
Miami, with the Jets, and
exactly.
Who's the other team? There's one more that could potentially be there.
Honestly, if they're having so much trouble with the name, I can only imagine what else they're having trouble with.
Yeah, there's and technically Jacksonville. So as far as Jacksonville has the potential to end up based on like they need some. If some of their games go south, they could end up as one of the worst teams in football. For sure.
What about Browns and Ravens?
Ooh, Ravens. Yeah, I think that's a close game, but I think I'm gonna go Ravens.
Did Browns beat Ravens?
Yeah, they screwed me last season. Like that, yeah, I got totally. They're just like
that was like the one like division game that everyone was like, oh yeah, Ravens gonna demolish them, and it went completely the other way.
Yeah, but I don't see that as their first game of the season. I don't see that happening.
I'm just saying it happened. I'm not saying it's gonna happen again.
Even though I'm not, once again, not a blowout. Definitely believe it's going to be a close game, and I think two things. I think the Ravens' defense is better, and looking at Lamar Jackson. That's it. Like, really,
do you think Browns are going to use Hunt this year?
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's gonna line up in the slot. He's gonna be used in some receiving sets in addition to splitting having
with Chubb.
Yeah, timeshare with Chubb. Yeah.
I would agree. I would go Ravens. Colts and Jaguars.
Colts.
That's even though the Rivers just got to the Colts kind of have a history of hurting the quarterbacks. So
they got some offensive linemen to protect them. They have a rookie running back that looks solid. The Marlon Mack's coming back, and they have Nakeem Hines. So they have a solid backfield with a rookie running back with a lot of upside. T.Y. Hilton's back and healthy. They got a good receiver. Michael Pittman is their wide receiver, rookie wide receiver.
And Jags did again just lost Fournette. So yeah, I could be swung.
And their defense, the Jaguars are hurting on defense, and I think that's what makes the difference. I think the Jaguars defense is just not where it needs to be in order to hold off the Colts.
All right, Raiders and Panthers.
I'm gonna go Raiders.
I'm secretly going or not secretly. I'm hoping for Raiders. Is what I'm trying to say. Yep. I would like Raiders to win it. I think honestly it's just a West Coast thing.
I mean, it comes down once again. I'm taking it down to defense. I think that the Raiders' defense is slightly better. That is better enough with than the Panthers defense, right? And the Panthers lost Kuechly, right? Kuechly retired, so that's a huge hit for them because he was from a leadership standpoint. I'm not saying that one player makes or breaks, you know, a team, but his leadership will be missed, and I think that's the biggest hit, right? Is his leadership. His playmaking ability, 100%, right? It will be missed, but you can adjust your scheme to make up enough of that, right? But you just can't. I don't think you can make up enough of they'd have anybody that makes up for his leadership.
All right. What about Bears and Lions? I mean,
I'm gonna go
Stafford's
Lions.
back.
I'm gonna go Lions. Yeah, Stafford's back. They just got a really good rookie running back, even though he's hurt. But like, I think he's okay. I don't think it's like a major injury. But they still have Kerryon Johnson. They have 2 solid receivers. Kenny Golladay is a top 5 receiving talent, and even Marvin Jones, even though he's a little bit older and he's towards the end of his season, he still has some playmaking ability there, and they have a healthy T.J. Hawkins in their tight end. I've been doing a lot of studying, so like
I'm still thinking Bears. I wish I've done that much studying. Anyway, Seahawks and Falcons.
Oh,
They're at Falcons, so even so, there's no 12th man on the field in Washington this year.
That's such a slobber knocker, because they're like very much evenly matched, right? Because like you look at so let's go down the line, right? We could go down the line quick enough, right? So as far as your number 1 receiver, you have Tyler Lockett on the Seahawks, and you have Julio Jones on Atlanta. So the point to Atlanta, right? Julio is a better receiver than Tyler Lockett. Nobody's going to argue that, right? And then you go into your next receiver 2. You have Calvin Ridley against DK Metcalf. I still got to give it to Calvin Ridley, me personally. That's my personal.
Well, I think I took Ridley either last year or the year before. I picked him up for like 3 games, and he went. If he gets the ball, he can go.
Oh yeah, and then so let's go to tight end, right? So Atlanta just picked up Hayden Hurst from the Ravens, and then the Seahawks have Greg Olsen. I want to say.
Yes. No. Did he move?
I think he moved over there. I want to say that Greg Olsen is there. Hold on. Let's just look it up because, not that we do research ever before we have conversations.
Well, or that we should.
It's more fun this way. It's like I said, it's impromptu. Let's go to the Seahawks depth chart.
I need to have like 12 screens with like different.
Yeah, it is Greg Olsen. So they had Jimmy Graham last season and they didn't keep him. So they have Greg Olsen, Will Dissly, and Will Dissly. Will Dissly was like the sleeper pickup like late in the season. He produced on some weeks, but Greg Olsen. I had
no idea he moved.
Yeah, Greg Olsen's older, and he has that foot injury. He might be healed now, but I just don't see. I still think that the tight end battle there goes to Hayden Hurst, right? Younger, just as he's younger, a little bit more robust, and I think he's a little bit more talented at this particular juncture, right? Maybe not in Greg Olsen's prime, but currently, right? And then so running back is probably where. Let's go to running back. So running back is probably where I want to lean Seahawks, right? Because you have Chris Carson, even though he's injury prone, but he's healthy at this point, right? So, and then Atlanta has Todd Gurley, but Todd Gurley has that arthritis in his knee, and I just don't know how much he's going to really be able to, how much of a workload he's going to be able to have.
Do you remember who was behind Freely last year?
Freeman? You mean
Freeman?
Devonta Freeman? Or was it Ito, right? And Brian Hill, I believe, who are both still there.
Name's not ringing a bell. I don't know who I'm thinking of, and that doesn't matter. Yeah.
But so I think Chris Carson, and then they also have Carlos Hyde. Now that Carlos Hyde is I think so. That's what I'm saying. So I think if we look at the overall backfield, let's look at the backfield as a whole. I think the Seahawks backfield wins there. So point there. So let's say receiving core, tight end receiving core is Atlanta. Backfield is Seahawks, right? Seattle. And then you look at quarterbacks. So Russell Wilson versus Matt Ryan. I think it's a tie. I don't think you. I mean, I think they have their own attributes. And I think it's a tie.
All right, let's skip past them. The real toss up: Dolphins and Patriots.
Oh, Patriots! Patriots
at this point, the argue is what's the spread going to be instead.
It's what the spread's going to be, and they have Cam Newton. You know what I mean? Cam Newton, and the Patriots defense isn't going to be bad. The Patriots defense is going to be decent.
We got 6 more teams. Let's rock through these. Chargers and Bengals. That's 6 more teams, 6 more games. But Chargers and Bengals. I'm gonna go
Bengals on this one.
Yeah, I'm feeling Bengals too. Cardinals and 49ers. I'm feeling 49ers. It's at the home stadium. Cardinals got trouble, even though they have Hopkins. I think they got some kinks to work out.
I'm gonna go Cardinals on that one because for some reason, because in all the seasons we've been season ticket holders as a family, right? The Cardinals always lose to the Niners at home, right? Like, so in Arizona, and then they go to San Francisco and beat them. Even when they're like awful, even when the Cardinals were awful, they still managed to pull out a win in San Francisco for some reason.
I just think it's fitting that we picked who we did, seeing how I'm up in Sacramento next to San Francisco and you're down in Phoenix and going for the Cardinals. Saints and Buccaneers, we talked about that one a little earlier, but who do you got?
Yeah. I'm going to go Saints.
I mean, I want to say Bucs. I think they got some stuff to work out, but I think the offensive power alone is gonna put the Saints on their toes.
I just think the rapport that Drew Brees has with Michael Thomas, with Kamara, with Jared Cook,
with Hill,
and is the X factor in that one. I think Tampa Bay is going to be a good team. I think that they need some live action to really solidify what their identity, right? Their identity as a team.
All right, we got the Sunday night closer, Cowboys and Rams.
Cowboys for sure.
I would definitely wouldn't put it past them for sure. So I'm actually kind of there with you. The Monday night starter, Steelers and Giants. Oh, of course he's got to think about it.
I'm gonna go Steelers. I was just really thinking about. No, I had to. Yeah. No, I had to think about it because I was like, and for the reason of I'm thinking about the defenses and then looking at like the offenses. Big Ben's back in the offense with Juju and Deontay Johnson, and then you have a healthy James Conner, right? And their defense is solid, right? And then you have the Giants, who the receiving core is aging, right? They have some older receivers that aren't necessarily as explosive as they used to be. Evan Ingram, their tight end, like he hasn't. They have to kind of baby him a little bit because he keeps getting injured, right? And they really need him to have a full workload for the season. They do have Saquon Barkley, right? And then Daniel Jones, but Daniel Jones is okay right now. I'm not saying he can't get better or he can't evolve as a quarterback, but as of right now, he's like a middle of the pack quarterback. And I think Big Ben's experience outweighs Daniel Jones's abilities right now.
Let's get this done because I think my internet's finally catching up with me. The final game of Week 1, Texans and Broncos.
You mean Titans, not Texans?
Titans, sorry.
I'm gonna go Titans.
Yeah, I'm kind of home for the Titans. I know they have I mainly because I can't think of who's on the Broncos.
So Melvin Gordon moved to the Broncos. So Melvin Gordon is he's gonna be split time with Phillip Lindsay. As far as receivers go, you have Jerry Jeudy, who's a rookie receiver, the tight end Noah Fant, and then Drew Lock is their quarterback, right? So and then Cortland Sutton. Sorry, I always forgot about Cortland Sutton, right? So we have Cortland Sutton. So they're not like a horrible team, but I kind of feel like they're like an 8-8 team, like an 8-8 or 9-8 maybe. I don't think they make 10 wins necessarily, but
Yeah.
that's where like, but they might surprise us. But as far as like out the season, and then they also are going to have to stop Derrick Henry, and I just so that's. I mean, it's in Mile High, but you said it's a
Yeah. All right. Well, let's wrap this up. Let's do our team names. So I got some picks, but do you have one or do you have a couple that you want to run?
I have a couple. I have one that I think I'm going to end up going with, but I have a couple.
All right. All of mine are punny. So you want to go first or you want me to go first?
You can go first.
All right. I got four. I got four possibilities. First one, shout out to Cowboys, is I got your Dak.
Okay.
Playoff, I got your back. Yeah. This one a little lengthy. I'm not feeling it too much since I put one of yours in. I had to put one of mine in. Nobody puts Connor in the corner. I like the CC of it. I'm kind of happy with this one. All Barkley, no bite.
Okay.
I'm kind of happy with that one. My final one is tip of the hat to Clint Eastwood, Dirty Henry.
All right. I think you missed out on one though, and this is my suggestion to you. It's Connor amongst thieves.
That's better. Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, like I said, I wasn't quite feeling that one, but I knew I had to do something with his name. I'm still kind of feeling all Barkley, no bite.
All right.
Although I don't know what that says about my cover 5 picking, because technically what it means is that I'm going to suck.
It's fitting. It's fitting.
Yeah. According to last year, it's very fitting.
I can't wait for you to have to do the Death Nut Challenge. That's going to be real exciting for me.
I'm
going to enjoy
determined what the challenge is.
I'm going to be excited for it. All right. So mine. So we're going to start off.
As a reminder, it's week one. Whoever wins gets to pick the Death Nut Challenge or the
hot ones,
the wings challenge.
Yeah, hot ones wings.
The actual thing was.
Yeah, hot ones, hot sauce on the wings there. So I have some of the selections that we're gonna go with here.
I can't hear a word you're saying to me because for some reason I'm getting all static on my end.
All right, I'll give it a second. Hopefully that's not what.
I'm blaming my internet. Try to give me 2 seconds here. I just go through them and we'll have to go through.
Nope, it's his internet. That's such a great like freeze too. So hopefully we can get him back because we're too far into this. But anyway. Wait, you back?
Yeah, I'm just clicking my internet on and off, just trying to get it to work.
So you got it.
What are your team names? Let's do this.
So turn your head and golf.
Oh my God! Of course.
Acute bronchitis. Let's see. Mahomes alone.
That's a good one. I like that one.
And then unsolicited Dak picks.
I mean, does that one really work in your favor? What was the first one? I think I like that one the most.
Turn your head and golf.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. I think I'm going all Barkley, no bite. What about you?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with turn your head and golf. I was thinking about unsolicited Dak picks, but turn your head and golf is too good.
Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, this has been the Bald and Beardiful. Please smash the subscribe button, hit the like button. It's right next to it. It takes a little effort after you hit the subscribe button. Leave some comments. Contact us at theballandbeardiful@gmail.com. We have a Facebook page for The Bald and Beardiful where I also post these videos. Chris, you said you had someone possibly helping us via Twitter or Instagram or something.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll launch some additional social media outside of the Facebook page here this season, but it hasn't come to fruition quite yet on that. But we will. So stay tuned for the Bald and Beardiful comes to social media.
All right. So until next week, where we'll put together our week one guesses and hopefully be correct. We'll find that out in the week after. But yeah, until next time, thanks for listening, everyone.
Yeah, buddy. Bye.
Bye.